It appears my return is not welcome. You've obviously all made your mind up about me. Who's gonna do it then? Who's gonna kill me? And I don't mind. Go ahead. Do it. Do it. Do it! Look at these people! They no longer support me. Why would they? I am your leader, and I just left. What kind of leader does that, huh? What kind of king abandons his people? So who wants to be king? Oh, you know how this works. If you want to be king, you must kill me. Take it. No? You? No? What about you? No? No? Anyone? Who wants to be king?
In a dark corner of the world, three men will work together to bring you a podcast like no other. This is Fanatically Correct, where the fans, the geeks, and the nerds are always correct. With your host, MSK, Yo Peace, and Omega.
And so we go to war again. So we're talking war again. We're doing that. We're doing this. We're
War.
We're talking more. This time we'll touch on the
War.
Sorry, we're not going to touch the Cold War. That's it. We're done with that.
That's not that. Actually, no side note. Because we talked about Starship Troopers in the last episode, and we just have the luck that it's again relevant. I read a little something that they're rebooting that.
No, they're not.
Oh God, stop it!
It's a reboot, but it's going to be completely different from what we know because it's going to be, now brace yourself for this, solely based on the novel.
I didn't even know there was a novel.
Wait,
It's a book.
a novel? This is a novel?
It's a novel, not even a book. It's a novel, like from the 1950s or something like that. About actually, the main character is the same Rico, and it's how he goes through the ranks. So they still kind of did that, but in a comedic style. The Starship Troopers that we like and know in the film, but that he quickly moved up the ranks in the military. But they did it, in a comedy style, where the novel, I guess, does it in a more serious tone. So it's more of a sci-fi action.
So they completely changed it.
Yeah, so it's going to be a completely different film. They're making it. It's going to be dark. It's going to be not a RoboCop-ish comedy. It's going to be, and I don't know how it's going to play out. It's the guys doing Baywatch.
Say what?
They're doing The Rock and Zac Efron's Baywatch. Yeah, those are the guys.
What else do they do? What else do those guys do? I don't remember.
I think they did the reboot of Total Recall.
Did they? No.
See, I'm out.
Yes.
See, I'm
That's
totally.
why I didn't want to say it.
I'm totally out.
Hey man, Colin Farrell is a pretty good actor.
Well, no, wait. Let's not jump.
We'll get into Colin Farrell, right?
Let's not jump into this. Let's not do it.
So
but I do have to admit. No, but wait, I do have to admit, True Detective, he surprised me.
Oh, True Detective is good. Yeah, true. I mean, yeah, he did surprise, but the first season was way better still, like by a lot.
That is true.
No, it was a better season. I think they're going to do a third one, but yeah, the first season was much better. I mean, they made that not planning to really do a second season or anything like that, and to have the new story, new character format. But it was still well done. If there wasn't a season one, that's still a solid series. It's that.
Man, this is a long intro.
I gotta say, we're eventually to get into it, man. But because the HBO shows, which is True Detective, Westworld.
Yeah, we have to. Eventually, we're going to review that. We're going to review that show. Yeah. It's insane. It's insanely good.
Well, there's war in Westworld too, but it's such a new show. We're not going to really get into that because
not yet.
We want to do a bunch of spoilers for the audience, and I think we have some props. MSK, there's a podcast he follows that does a whole bunch of theories on Westworld and stuff. They're probably good to check out if you're up to date on Westworld? What are they?
Yeah, you guys should check out Coffee Klatch Crew. Like they're very detailed in every scene by scene, like everything they say on the show. They just break it down for you, and they come up with crazy theories, man. I would recommend anyone that watches the show.
Yeah, their theories are pretty deep. Like I enjoy their podcast a lot.
I actually started listening to them for Mr. Robot. So they do a bunch of different shows. They do Mr. Robot, Game of Thrones, but yeah, Westworld. If any of you start watching it, I would definitely recommend them.
Since we spoke about Colin Farrell, he's also that a good leeway back us into ancient Greece and Rome because he was Alexander the Great. So that had a lot of war in it. It's pretty good, and
It's not that good though.
it drags. That movie drags. Like,
Yeah.
what? Like,
Wait, wasn't Angelina Jolie his mom?
yeah.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Like
Like
5 years apart.
apart.
Actually, isn't he older than her? Actually, isn't he older than her? Like, I don't know how that works. Like, what is the age difference between them?
What happened there?
Who did the casting in that?
Nah, but there's well, we'll go down this list. We got a nice little list here of ancient Greece and Rome stuff, and
I see that you wanted to talk about Ben-Hur.
Go ahead.
Is that the original or the new one?
I think I saw the original parts of it when I was a kid, and I still haven't seen the new one.
Ben-Hur.
I
is one
remember-
of those movies that I'm really afraid for. I really enjoy Ben-Hur. Growing up,
The original one, the
Yeah.
classic.
the original one, yes, the classic
Charlton
one,
Heston.
and seeing the remake, at least just seeing the trailer. I'm not sold. I'm just not ever sold on trailers. Trailers are like very scary for me. So I don't know how I feel about this new Ben-Hur.
Well, my curiosity is because I know when I was younger, I think I watched Ben-Hur the first time. I was like 11 or around there, and I know it's because the big deal about the sneakers and the Rolex watches. Okay, so like that always gets you into it at first. You're like, what? That's silly. Like because they had so many extras. I mean, we've had so many more extras now when they do films, but back then that was one of the first times they used so many extras in a scene that they couldn't keep track of all the extras to make sure that they had proper foot attire and weren't wearing their jewelry and things like that. So you watch the scenes to catch that, at least I did, and then you kind of get into it like, yeah, this is actually pretty good. Yeah. So the idea that they updated, now that they could use CGI mixed in with live action, I would think at least the chariot scene should still.
Yeah, but I feel like they're not. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to have the same feeling.
Yeah, that feeling, like I'm saying, like even as a kid, like my aunt was very into. Obviously, she's older. She showed me all these classics, and watching Ben-Hur, I was like, man, this is great. That was a good feeling. I don't think kids will get that feeling watching the new one. I just
no, of course, because everyone.
The CGI is the same. It's always the same. They're just gonna show gory stuff, and it's not about the goriness of it. It's not about that. It's about everything else that's happening. Like, go watch that scene. Just go watch that scene. On the original one. Go like.
Oh, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna watch it right now. Hold on, give me a second.
Right this second. I'm gonna make that side note. That's a good aunt. That's a good aunt you had there. And for me, it was an uncle. I don't know what it was for MSK, but we got to make sure we do that, for our children and or our nieces and our nephews, things like, because that's a big problem. A lot of people don't see the classic stuff. They just jump.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they're dying out.
Areas. Yeah, they are.
Classic
and then
movies are dying out.
And not just classic movies, classic cartoons, classic, everything. Everyone just jumps into the new stuff and they don't know what they're missing out. And then they appreciate less what they're getting now too because of it. Because they really, they know, oh yeah, back in the day there was black and white movies. Like, it's not the same as actually watching those films and seeing with what little they had, and they still made a film that was industry changing. And you got to appreciate that. You see war movies from back then. The Great Raid, and we're talking about now the original Ben-Hur, and they didn't have what we have now, and not just in CGI, but in budget and animatronics and costume design. I mean, it's such a living, breathing industry now. And the kids they don't appreciate it. They really don't.
Yeah, I know. And you go back into like what movie magic was really all about. Like, watch those movies. That's movie magic. That's
the real magic. That's low budget magic.
Yeah, that's where it came from.
It is. It's it's taking a little and making a lot out of it.
Yeah.
You know, actors had to work. Actors had to work. You know, it is in those scenes. Back then, you have enough budget to shoot that scene once. That's why the sneakers stayed in, why the watches stayed in, why the bad haircut stayed in. And if Charlton Heston would have messed up a scene, they were done. You know, that's all we got. That's simple. It's like, that's it. We're done. Movie's over. We just scrapped the movie. Most expensive scene, and you blew it. You know, that you can't. You know, you had to be professional. To that shooting, you know.
But did you guys plan on watching the new version of it? I didn't plan on watching it at all. I have no interest. In it.
No, I do. I want to see it. I want to see it. Not in theaters, you know, but I want to see it eventually, like HBO or. I guess I'll watch it when it's on TBS or something. I don't know. Maybe. I'm honestly. I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not gonna watch it. I feel like I'm not gonna watch. How about ones we have seen? I know you guys seen Troy. That's a good one. That's a good. Ancient
I like Troy. A lot of people don't like Troy though. A lot of people hate on it.
I think the war scenes are awesome, especially the one-on-one fight scenes in Troy are pretty epic.
Yeah, Brad Pitt was surprising on that because that was his like first. Well, before that he was just like the pretty boy, right?
No, he's
not really. It's just that he was not.
He's done stuff here and there. He's done stuff here and there. Was at that time
more dramatic. He would do
dramatic.
Yeah, he would do Pretty Boy, but then he'll do like something like Fight Club or something like that. But never like an action.
Exactly.
Like before that, he didn't do like an action movie.
Right.
And that level of action, not that like not epic action. No, and Eric Bana in that movie was impressive. That's actually the performance that surprised me. And that movie was Eric Bana as Hector on the other side of the scale.
Yeah,
and
I think
same thing.
I think Troy was good. Don't get me wrong. Like me personally, I like Troy. I just think the story was a little weak. But that's just me. Like, because I compare everything to the old time movies when they would do these epic films, and I feel like the storyline could have been better, but the movie is overall is good.
We're not used to in that storyline, which is they made it more about Achilles than anyone else, because usually it's about Helen of Troy and it's about that love affair. And then you got Orlando Bloom, which is weird for us because especially at that time, Orlando Bloom was doing Will Turner. He had done Speaking of War movies. He was Legolas exactly in the Lord of the Ring films. He had also done another one, which is a war movie also during the Crusades, Kingdom of Heaven, which is also. Yeah, which is also so he's playing this. He's playing a badass himself, like the young bat, and then he's like the total punk.
Yeah, he was horrible. I hated him in that movie. Totally, I hated him.
You do hate him, which just shows he has some range because he's like crawling for his brothers for like save me, don't let it. And he he kills that other guy who's a good actor too. The brother of Agamemnon, who's the one who ends up getting killed by Hector, which is what breaks off the war at right there at the wall of Troy. But yeah, he's like so conniving and so like, and the whole war is his fault. Like it's not hers, it's his. It's like seriously, it's like talk about kick your brother right in the ass when he's making the deal. Go bang the guy's wife and like bring her back. Like and not only just hook up with her, no, bring her back, like kidnap her. Like she's my wife now. It's like that's insane. And that's the story that we're used to seeing. That focal point being that being Helen and they do brush on it, but Achilles was the main character, right? The main storyline.
Yeah, he was Brad Pitt was great as I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, he did.
I think he did a great job too. No, and who's Ned Stark, right? The friend,
Sean
the
Bean.
one who gets him.
He was in there too.
Yeah, Sean Bean. Yeah, he was in there too. He was the one who gets him to go to war because he wasn't gonna go fight for them. So yeah, no, Troy's a good one. 300, another one totally different though. But I think of those because I don't really count Gladiator. That's not really. They have no war scenes. That one's all in the arena. It's if we were just doing Gladiator stuff. Gladiator's a good movie, but it's not a World War. Troy is war. You have a lot of lined up thousands of men against thousands of men. But out of the 300, I'm actually going to go on a whim and say I actually like the second one more than the first one.
I haven't seen it yet.
I honestly when 300 came out, I didn't like it. I don't know what it was. I didn't like 300 that much. People went crazy for it. Like it was just too out there. And
yeah,
I think the shooting was different for the second one though, right? Like
A little bit. They didn't over it because that's what it was. I think they took like the same thing that hyped them up was the same thing that immediately dropped them down from like I think DVD sales like that because they blew up in the theaters and everyone wanted to see like all the slow motion because that's what they showed in all the trailers too.
Right.
And that is what everyone gets hyped for. The story, it's a good base story. Supposedly a true one. From ancient history that 300 men were able to fight off thousands because of the peak in the mountain. But the way they executed it in that film was like just too much. It was like WWE. WWE. And
it was in the first movie.
Yeah, in the first one, it was
the first one, exactly.
Fake. It felt fake. It felt like it was like it felt like a studio. No, it felt like a studio, like a real studio. Just like I don't know. It was
just too much CGI, too much slow mo, too much. The dialogue was a little certain scenes. Like it had its good individual scenes, but again, all those individual scenes are the ones you saw in the trailers. When this is Sparta when he kicks the guy in the hole, best scene of the movie. They shouldn't have shown that in the trailer. Because
it loses the effect. Yeah,
it does, and that's the best scene in the film. And then the other one too, when he throws a spear at the Persian king, and you see that in the trailer also where the spear's coming past them. So they gave it all away. But in the second one, it was actually more rounded, focal on just the one. The one king and the one story, and actually, but I mean, it does help the fact that 300 already happened because you have the wife, which is
because you know what's happening. Yeah, you know what's happening.
So good casting, but you know what? It was also the naval thing because we're so used to Troy and 300 and Gladiator and all these other films. Alexander, Centurion, the Eagle. They're all taking place on the ground, which we're used to seeing. That's the second one of 300. Rise of the Empire actually took place a lot of it, on the shores or on the actual ocean, ship to ship. So to me, that's actually what would change it up. Like seeing them jump from ship to ship, and they almost had like suicide bombers, the way they had those guys that would tar themselves up and swim to the other side. And it's like crazy.
That was good. That was good for movie. I mean, I'm sure I can almost guarantee that didn't happen. But
yeah, exactly. I'm positive that didn't happen.
You know that. Yeah. You don't know that. It might have happened.
No, that did not happen. But it looked good on the movie screen. It looked really good. It was good. That movie was.
The second one is better than the first one.
Yeah,
to me it is. I enjoyed it more. Yeah, it just had more. It just had more appeal to it. It was just a better overall film.
Yes.
They dialed it back a bit with all the slow mos and the I don't know.
And it still had slow mos. It was just not like it was just
not overkill,
overwhelming slow mos, which is what I had the problem with the first one. Yeah.
There was just too much of it which like the show Spartacus, I liked it, which is pretty much a war series. But yeah, like they did a lot of that too, especially in the first season.
It has a similar feel, the first season. Yeah.
Yeah, and they started to dial it. Same thing, they started to dial it back. They realized, okay, we're still pretty good, but we're maybe like just doing too much of this. And so they started to dial it back a bit. So the second and third seasons were better, in my opinion, also in that show. But I'll tell you, with the 300 Rise of an Empire, I'm really hoping that's more or less what's going to happen on Game of Thrones next season with because how Khaleesi's coming with all the ships to the other side, and that up with what's his name, Reek Greyjoy, with his uncle or whatever that took over, and I'm looking forward to hopefully
there's going to be a battle. Yeah, there's going to be a battle for sure. It has to be.
What to you guys was the best battle scene so far in all the seasons of Game of Thrones? Because they've had some really. We're talking about entire episodes dedicated to one battle scene. Type episodes.
Now, we're hoping everybody's caught up, right, with the spoilers and all those things, right?
Well, we just just spoiler alert on Game of Thrones right now because we're definitely everyone's caught up. It's Game of Thrones, like seriously.
I don't think everyone's caught up, man.
Actually, I know someone that's just watching it right now.
I mean, Omega, you have a friend that just started like 2 weeks ago. So
that's insane. But yeah, so spoiler alert for that. Those two people on the planet,
people in the world. Yeah. For me, man, it's tough because I like the Battleship one, but I think the Leroy Jenkins was my favorite one.
He's referring to Jon Snow, the Battle of the Bastards.
He's just going in on his own, just by himself.
On his own, like, no.
Isn't that what he did?
Oh,
he's like, forget about
100%.
this.
He Leroy Jenkins 100%, and like didn't have the wolf with him. The giant was like, sucking wind, trying
There's
to get
actually a
halfway
video.
there.
There's actually a video of that scene with the Leroy Jenkins audio. It's awesome. You guys have to check that out. It's awesome.
Oh, Jenkins. That's awesome.
It's good.
That is such a good battle scene. It is. I gotta say, man. I don't know, man. That King's Landing one with Tyrion, that's great stuff. That was
pretty
the
good.
First one. It was the first time they did that. Where a whole
And
episode
they didn't have a lot of budget on that.
Did it, but I mean, they just did such a great job, and I mean, half of it is in the water, in lighting the dragon's breath, which is like the big surprise scene. Like, oh, Tyrion's got game, and he actually went out there and fought, and I mean, it was just such a great scene. And that episode was just the whole episode was the first time they did that. They did it with the wall afterwards, and also with the whole episode wasn't about the White Walkers, but
yeah.
It was
the Hardhome.
That's a good one.
That one's probably my favorite one. That one's really dope.
Really good.
That one is good. That one is good. No,
that was total all chaos. All hell broke loose.
The end of that was
because they lost.
crazy.
Spoiler, whatever.
No, but he looks dead at him while he's raising his hands.
Yeah,
and he's looking right at him like, yeah, buddy.
He's like, come at me.
Yeah, that was a great scene.
And who else was watching that scene going, oh, thank God the giant got out of there, because if that thing would have turned into a walker.
Yeah, pretty much.
They were done if that guy would have turned into a walker.
Yeah, no, they would have been screwed. They would have been screwed.
So bad. But yeah, that's such a good scene. All the battle scenes, just
God, really, Angelina Jolie was that was such a bad.
What? No, remember we're going past that.
I know, but I was thinking about it right now. I was like, man, that's pretty bad.
Wow,
that's the
reaction. Such a delayed reaction.
A 30-minute delayed reaction.
30-minute delayed reaction. You know what? Now, good time. What side note for a second? Want to talk again? That we're gonna be at the con coming up soon. Paradise City Comic-Con. That's going to be on December 9th, 10th, and 11th. We're our first time panel. We're virgins. Go easy on us. We've never done anything like this before. It's first time.
The bathroom is closed.
Feels like the first time.
I feel like two of us are not going to make it, and the guy remaining is going to have the show all to himself.
Yeah,
and he's going to be terrified. So not it.
Yeah. Not it either.
So yeah, if you walk into a room and there's a guy crying in the corner, that's probably our panel.
It's probably us. It's probably us.
So yeah, we're gonna actually do things a little different. We had some suggestions of maybe a good idea to go ahead and not always save for the end some of our social media feed, and we're actually going to start taking questions and suggestions from the emails and from the Twitter feed. So we want to get you involved, and that's why I went ahead and brought up the con, because we're going to have 3 panels at the con, and we want to start ahead of time. We're going to start tweeting it as well as Facebooking it. Well, what's our tweet again? Yo, peace. It's
FanCorrect. FanCorrect.
And the spelling
Perfect.
win, spelling championship, yo peace.
Now use it in a sentence.
The guy was a fan, correct?
Oh,
that was good.
That was horrible.
I'm gonna applause that on the spot we put him.
Thank you. Thanks.
So yeah, go ahead and tweet us, or also we are on Facebook, Fanatically Correct. You can also Gmail us at contact FanCor, just FANCOR at gmail.com, of course. So, and our topics will be, we're going to be doing best and worst all-time time travelers. So if you have any suggestions or specific time travelers you'd like us to talk about, or a specific question you'd like to get us on, go ahead and social medias, either raven us, or you can go ahead and dismember your enemy's son and send us his penis in a box. Do it, Reek style.
Wait, what? What just happened here?
Some more Game of Thrones talk.
This is like children. Children listen to this, right? I hope.
There's a family podcast?
Yeah, I did have it as a family podcast on iTunes. Thanks, man. Now I got to restructure.
There goes iTunes.
There was that. the other topics we'll be doing, we're gonna have actually a grief counseling session for all the characters that we've lost throughout the year.
It's a lot of them.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot of spoilers in that one. So if you don't like spoilers, be up to date because we'll probably be talking about some beloved characters definitely from Game of Thrones, definitely from Walking Dead,
and characters we wished would have gone.
Yeah.
I'm gonna suggest something. I want you guys to come. Please come and sit there. And if you don't want to listen to the spoilers, just put on some headphones. And we'll give you the cue when you can take them off.
And I'll bleep you out live. I'll just go beep live.
Oh, that's even better.
You just stand right next to me and go bleep for a long time while I'm talking. Or you could just do the old stick your fingers in your ears and go la 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 la. I'm not listening.
That's even better.
Yeah, we'll have the whole room doing that. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. And the last topic will be we're gonna do a whole year in review, January through December. What was the best thing of each month and the worst thing of each month? So what was the high of January, the low of January, high of February, low of February, Batman v Superman. So basically, we'll go through. That's the same thing. Any honorable mentions or suggestions, we'll be more than happy to have some participation, especially on this one because it's a panel, so it's going to be a little bit of a different format. We're going to go ahead and record like a podcast, but we'll have actual audience participation if we have an audience. Maybe I can bribe a janitor or something to sit in on.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Pretty cool.
Janitors, security guards.
So. Actually, back on Game of Thrones, were you ready? Like, I really thought I was ready to watch Jon Snow die. Like, I really was like, "Are you gotta be kidding me?"
No, I didn't think he was. I don't think he was gonna die. Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
another
crazy?
thing. Why didn't they just build a huge ass weapon for the giant, and he just takes out the other army? Like, why didn't they just do that?
And where was the wolf? Where was the wolf in that one? Where's the ghost? Like, hello? Like,
They couldn't afford the CGI. They already had too much CGI in that episode. They couldn't make more CGI. Come on, man.
You figured it'd be the best moment to have Ghost would be like in that onslaught.
Yeah. No, he was at the wall. He was at the wall.
I just don't want to talk anymore. I feel like we're gonna spoil something for someone.
Keeping up with Game of Thrones. What about Vikings? I know you guys have seen that.
Oh yes.
We're all. It's about to start soon. Vikings is about to make their comeback, and I think like every episode or every other episode is an epic battle scene. It's such a good show.
I mean, don't compare it to Game because my mistake was I compared it to Game of Thrones right after, and
no, it's
budget's not even close, but it
no, not at all.
Progressively gets better. Like when they hit Paris, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Their first battle scene in the first season was very well done. The first time they get over to that was England, right? Or part of England.
It was part of England,
yeah.
With the snakes or whatever.
It's Mercia.
Very simplified, but it's just such a good scene. And that show uses it's Game of Thrones-esque, where in the sense that they use a lot of dialogue to build things up and to make up for lack of budget or lack of scenery, and just a lot of times the dialogue and the expressions and the explaining of the after and things like that. They do a lot of good cutaways and stuff like that. But Vikings is just that character, man. Ragnar is one of the best characters on television. He's such an awesome character. He's like he's a total rock star.
He's like a rock star. He is a rock star, yeah.
He is a 1980s rock star.
Yeah. He doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care.
You remember the band Oasis? The drunk brother.
Yeah, that's what he is. The drunk brother.
He is. Actually, you know what? I think that's what Oasis is. Those two brothers are Ragnar and what's the brother's name?
What is the brother's name?
What is his brother's name now? I can't remember. Bjorn's his son. I love Bjorn. That's another character.
Traitor is
Traitor. But yeah, man, it's like the total Oasis relationship. It's like, man, why are you the star? Like, you're such a drunk and pathetic loser.
That show is amazing.
That kid, and man, that kid grew up quick because they do a time jump on a lot of the characters and throughout the storyline of the show. But the actor that they cast is like a big kid, but he looks like 15 or 16 years old when he first is 15, 16 years old. And throughout, I mean, that kid aged quick. And he's not a Carl aging. Like, he's like the biggest guy on the show.
They are Vikings, though. They work out, like, constantly. So I could see that.
Yeah, it's a little. Oh man, that ending scene.
Rolo,
Who
Rolo's
wants
his
to be
brother.
Rolo.
Rolo?
That's
Who
what-
wants to be king? Who wants to be king? Oh, such a good. You gotta see
Yeah,
that. So Washington in Training Day in that scene.
I'll tell you what. That
Oh,
seems
King
awesome.
Kong!
That's
It is.
and that's the way the season ends. That's awesome. That's great.
It ends on Training Day. It ends on
yeah.
Training Day. I'm king.
The only thing,
So
the
good.
only thing about the show is really funny. They aged Ragnar very well. Like you
Yeah.
see, 10 years go by or so, like
Yeah.
between season 1 and
Yeah.
4
Well,
they're on right now. But all the
so people
women,
know who we're
all the
talking about.
actresses don't age.
They have good genes.
They're Viking
They have good
women.
genes.
Well,
Yeah,
you know
that's
what?
Women.
Touch on the supernatural a lot though. Like it's not full blown like 300, you know, with like total mystics, but the element is there. So as
Yeah,
far
that's
as I'm not saying that's what their aging is, because not like vampires or anything like that, but they really do embrace a lot of the mystic lore as almost real lore.
Right.
And they also mix in Christianity and all that in there too, because these are actual characters. These are people that actually existed in history. Because it's on the History Channel, right? It's not AMC.
Yeah, but
It's history.
but it's his
Yeah.
history.
No,
No,
But yeah, it's loose on the base, but the basis is characters that actually existed throughout history, and then which HBO does with a lot of its shows, where it takes actual factual characters, but then fictionize a lot of their storyline.
Yeah.
they like his son's history are pretty much like written down in history. Like they did exist,
Yeah,
and they have like, I don't want to say proof, but they're really in history. His father though, Ragnar, that's where it gets all.
it's a lot of myth and a lot of lore because
It's
that's
a
the first.
yeah.
It's a good thing that they used him to kind of tell the
Exactly.
story, because no one knows too much about him.
Right. No, it's a great character. It's a
Really
great
good.
character.
It really is. It's like what I said. He's a 1980s rock star, but a Viking, leader.
Yeah.
Well, too much, but yeah, he's what a character.
Well, there's
I know, it's-
some characters coming in this season that I'm really looking forward to. Like you said, I don't want to spoil too much, but from the trailer, I don't know if you guys seen the trailer for this season,
Yes.
but there's some characters that it's gonna be pretty cool. It's gonna be pretty cool to watch.
I'm looking forward to it. No, and it's got good cast. I mean, without those, I don't know who playing those characters, but the actor who plays Ragnar he's in that World of Warcraft.
Yeah,
or
I saw that
Warcraft,
movie at the
which is
theaters.
not a bad film.
Not a bad film. It really got me by surprise. I'm not even gonna lie. I was sitting there like,
Speaking of war, that's a war movie. There you go.
It's
That
a
is
war movie? I haven't seen it. I
Warcraft
haven't
is
seen
a war movie. It is all war. The whole film.
I mean, it's Warcraft. So yeah, there should be some more in there, right?
But yeah, but it was well done. This guy's that actor. What is it? Ben Foster, the one from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ben Foster's a good actor.
Yeah, he's good in it too. Like, yeah, it's got a bunch of actors sprinkled through here and there that are pretty good in that film. But yeah, Warcraft's a good movie. He's in it. I can't remember his name now, but he's a real tall guy. He usually plays like he was in Legion. He played Michael. He's like a real big guy. He's in The Strain, Wild Hogs. He's in a lot of stuff. And
Was he actually in Vikings?
Yeah, he's the character of that like god,
The mystic
that
guy. Yeah.
the mystic that comes around when the men are away and he like ravages the women. Like he takes advantage of the guys. I think during Vietnam they call those Jodies. The guy who would come around and scoop up dudes' women's while they're away at war. So yeah, he's in it. Loki is one of the Sarsgaards, but believe it or not, that's actually he's brothers with the tall guy who just played Tarzan. That's also in True Blood and all those shows. He's a Sarsgaard. There's like 8 Sarsgaards. That's a crazy family. It's the dad is from Avengers and Thor, the professor. Yeah, he was also Ronin, and I mean the guy's a great actor too. Yeah, Good Will Hunting. He's awesome. Yeah, he's the professor. He has like 8 kids, man, and they're all actors. He has the youngest one is on Hemlock Grove and Netflix, and he's gonna play the new clown in the new.
Which
he's a
Sarsgaard. Looks weird.
That's a forget the Baldwins. That's a family. That's insane. I think Vikings, man, they're all like tall and like big.
Well, they're all Sweden. They're all Swedish
people. Yeah, they're Swedish. Yeah, they're Swedish actors. But
Yeah.
and they can act. I'll be honest. I've never seen. I mean, some of them have done some bad movies, or, and some bad shows. But their performances and everything they do, that's a talented family. I definitely going to give them some props.
Yeah, Floki's is one of the best characters in that show. He's kind of weird, man. He's out there.
Character.
That's what makes him. That's what makes him amazing in that show. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, the priest too.
It works.
The
It works.
friend. That's another good
Alpha
character.
Stan. Alpha Stan?
Yeah,
that's good,
off the stat. So yeah, off the stand or off the stat, something like that. But all the characters are so dynamic. The wife, man, that's a warrior woman right there. Ragnar's wife.
Yeah, she's pretty. Lagertha? Yeah, she's
Lagertha.
badass. Badass. Did you guys know that King Egbert, he was the dad in Batman Begins? He's Bruce Wayne's dad.
In Batman Begins.
What?
Yeah. Well, rewatch it. You have to.
The beard
Yes.
guy.
The beard
Yes.
guy.
Yes.
King.
Yes.
That is
Wow.
what's such a different character.
Yeah,
Totally different
take
character.
take off his beard and like that's it. He's
The eyes. Yeah, I see it now because he has like that, which is why I think they cast the guy. He has like Christian Bale's like nose, eye, like bridge area.
Yeah.
And
he also looks like a character that should be in a Die Hard movie.
for real, he's such a
He
villain.
looks like a villain.
He looks like a villain.
He is such a good character too. That is another great character. That he is. Oh man, that guy is
Well, you
so
look at
out
his
for personal
IMDb.
gain.
You look at his IMDb picture. Yeah, he looks like the villain of a Die Hard movie.
He looks like he belongs in Die Hard. Like in
Yeah.
some in you know what? We should write the script.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, the next one is he's going to save the galaxy now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Well,
saves
let's-
the galaxy.
He's become an astronaut and he has to save the galaxy now because the last one
Yes.
saved the world.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
To keep up.
Wait a
I
minute.
feel like I've seen Bruce Willis in something like this.
Armageddon. Sounds familiar.
Oh, it's a prequel. So so all the
prequel. That's
Die
why they
Hards
asked
are a
him.
prequel to Armageddon.
That's
I
why they
get it
asked
now.
him in Armageddon to blow up the meteor because he's done
Pretty
it
much.
before.
because he's same guy.
I didn't catch it. Was his name McLean? He got tired of the police business and went into oil drilling.
McLean is everywhere. McLean is
Yeah.
everywhere.
Why isn't McLean like
McLean.
a security for like the White House or something?
Gonna be.
That's
He's gonna,
too little. That's too little.
It's too little. That's too little.
No,
That's
he's gonna
Jack Bauer.
be.
That's Jack Bauer
in
stuff.
the sequel to Prometheus. He's gonna be the astronaut in the sequel to Prometheus.
Oh, that's another movie they just announced. Well, they just sent the poster for.
Oh, they already have the poster for it.
Yeah.
That's gonna be pissed.
I don't want to talk about that. Let's get back to war movies.
Yes. Hey, you guys catch Black Sails at all? Have you listened to my recommendation? Done some Black Sails?
All right, so this has
You
been
know
a pretty
what?
good episode.
You know what?
Yeah,
Who's taking
I
notes?
guess.
I'm gonna be honest. I saw maybe 2-3 episodes of that.
I didn't see it at all.
I'm gonna try again. Just put it that way. I'm gonna try again.
What channel is that on?
That is on Stars.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump into Necessity to a show that MSK is eventually going to watch, and I know Yo Peace has watched it. And it's not on Stars; it's on HBO, which I know
HBO.
That's right. It's right.
you
HBO.
know, home box office.
Who
I'm gonna go.
Probably own Stars, by the way.
Do they?
Most likely.
Included on my package on cable, so I don't.
Who do they? No, I think they own Cinemax.
You own Cinemax.
And Showtime owns Stars.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think Showtime owns Stars. Yeah.
The competition.
Oh,
But so yeah, my necessity for this week, which I guess Yopies can jump in anytime, and I know MSK has heard plenty of it from us, is a little show called Rome
yes.
from HBO.
Rome was a
And,
good show.
it's a very good show. It's you can do what Yopies did and watch Spartacus from Stars first, and then watch Rome because it's actually almost a continuation timeline wise.
Much
They
better.
have nothing to do with each other. Yeah, Rome's way better. If you're a fan of the show Spartacus, then this is next level to you. You're gonna be amazed. It's fantastic. But if you like movies like Gladiator, Troy, any of those type of shows, but with a Game of Thrones, actually, Rome is what set up Game of Thrones. Like because they had done Rome, I am positive that the writer of the Game of Thrones novels, when he met with HBO, had to have seen that show and went, "Yeah, you guys can definitely." It's supposed to be done.
Yeah, I'm not gonna guarantee that, but I'll say sure. Whatever you say.
I mean, it's a good theory. That's a good theory.
It is. If you watch Rome, you'll feel that. You'll feel that is probably
No,
the
it is.
reason.
It's a great show. It really is.
It's very similar to Game of Thrones in the style of the storytelling. Now, again, these are actual for the most part, and that's what makes Rome a very different series, is that the main characters are two completely fictional characters with a completely fictional storyline that's embedded into the middle of like one of the biggest stories of the Roman Empire, which is during the time of Julius Caesar, leading all the way up to Octavius fighting with Mark Antony over the Roman Empire. And they're main characters as well within the series, but the two main characters are involved with everything and have their own like smaller storyline. But it's just such a good, I mean, the stories are so good. They're dark. That's number one. It's very dark storyline of the things that probably did happen during those times. Those were hard times, especially for the intermediate populace. But it's got such great fight scenes, great storytelling, great dialogue, all the same things you love from Game of Thrones. Just none of the mystic stuff, because they actually keep it more grounded and more realistic. They don't do any like mythical things or anything like that. It's more gritty as far as that goes. But the two characters, I think it's Titus Pullo and
Lucius Vorenus.
Lucius Vorenus. Those two great characters, two great actors. Titus is the guy who played Punisher in Punisher Warzone, and he was in Dexter. He did a lot of stuff. The guy's a great actor. And the Lucius, same thing. He was in Journeyman, which I don't know.
His name is Kevin
McCade.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff too. Usually does the medieval type films and things like that as well. And just those two characters, and they're actually they're enemies that become like brothers. And it's just, you got to watch it. I don't want to give too much away, but it has such a good storyline. It's about family, but then it's about like the problems with the Roman Empire.
Everything, man. It really it's one of those shows that it has a lot. Like you wouldn't expect the writers to write these characters the way they did, but it has dark moments. It has great moments, happy moments. It has a lot. It shows a lot on these two characters.
And like Game of Thrones, not family friendly because it's very vulgar.
So don't watch it with kids. Don't watch it with kids.
It's very Roman Empire, very, very vulgar, very, it's not full on Caligula, but it touches. It touches. It has a lot of, gratuitous sex scenes but even the violence. Just there's some good fight scenes in that one. Some good, finger biting and ear biting and, stabbing in the shoulder blades or dirty fighting. I mean, it's real survival fighting in some of the gladiator scenes and things like that. But
and how many seasons did it have?
Good thing about it, it's 2 seasons. I think like 6 to 8 episodes, or maybe 12 episodes per season, and it's done. It finishes properly. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end.
The closest.
It doesn't get canceled. It actually has an ending.
They literally only had 2 seasons. It was written for just 2 seasons.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And it did the same thing Game of Thrones does, which is where, obviously the HBO production staff already had the experience of doing, which is they actually built an entire Roman city for all that filming. They built that city, and it's almost like going to medieval times or medieval village.
City.
But yeah, it's like going to a Renaissance fair. No, but so yeah, it's a great show. Strongly recommended. Definite necessity.
That's cool. I gotta watch that.
The casting is really good, man. The guy that plays Julius Caesar.
Yeah, he's from the Game of Thrones. He was the king north of the wall.
King north of the wall.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Which is
great casting, man.
Great casting. Really good cast. And Octavius. And actually, I actually prefer, because Octavius, they do a time jump. They go from him as a kid to a grown man. And I actually prefer the actor as the child Octavius, because he's actually so much darker than the adult Octavius. But it's well done. It's and actually the actor who plays Mark Antony is in a lot of stuff too.
Yes, he is.
We recognize him. He was in, I don't know why, he just came Resident Evil was his first movie.
James Purefoy.
Oh yeah. We've seen him in a bunch of stuff. He's been in a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff. Yeah,
A Knight's Tale. He's done Knight's Tale.
That's right. He wasn't a Knight's Tale. He was the prince or whatever.
Yeah.
It was good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's this week's Nerdcessity. So one last time, hit us up on Twitter. Rate us on Google Play and iTunes, and ask questions about the podcast.
Please. Well, I'll tell you what, man. 10th. December 9th, 10th, and what was the other one?
We're
the
actually
one
going
after-
to be there.
What comes after
That's the
10th?
con.
12th?
Well, the con. Yeah, 12th. Well, the con is on Friday the 9th, Saturday the 10th, and Sunday the 11th. We will be paneling Friday the 9th and Saturday the 10th is when we'll be at the con.
There you go.
Yeah, please visit us or tweet us or rate us or something. Show us
Something. Well, you know what? We have to give up some shout outs because we did get some feedback.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
Shout outs to Heriberto. Good job there.
I also want to give a shout out to we received this email from I'm not sure where we got it from, but her name is Edietzi.
Yes.
Yes,
I
you
think
guys-
she's related to directing. I think she's related to directing because they have like a similar.
Yeah, she's actually friends with USB. They're great friends.
Another follower.
Another follower of ours. So I just want to give a shout
No,
out.
and we did get some good feedback from a friend of MSK's, Tito Ortiz. I don't think it's the MMA fighter. I don't believe it's the MMA fighter.
Listen,
I
if
think
I was
he's a lot older than MSK.
maybe I'm good friends with him. I don't know.
Yeah, either way, don't rank on him because if he is,
Yeah.
I don't want to get.
Can he sponsor the cast? Put in some money. I mean, I don't want to get too close to him because he might beat me. But
Yeah, I'm not going to talk trash about Tito Ortiz. As it is, the boxer from Creed is probably going to kick our asses at some point. So we don't need to piss off any of their fighters.
Maybe we should.
And one of the other podcasts. Just for the listener's sake, just in case, we're going to say actually the guy is pretty talented. I'm going to go out and say if you listen to that podcast, I said several times that the gentleman has a brawler's body.
Wait,
is
some correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you said it looked like he trained at the Golden Corral, right? Golden Corral, is that what you said?
That is a gym. There's a gym.
It's a gym called Golden
Gym out in California. Called the Golden Corral. Not to be confused with the buffet. No, I'm not the buffet. No, not the buffet. I was saying the guy went into a buffet. It's a place. There's a place out somewhere there in the West Coast-ish area called Golden something Corral. I probably misspoke or something. But
it's Golden.
That guy's gonna whoop your ass.
It's Golden's Gym Corral.
That guy's an actual fighter. Okay, yeah, be honest, MSK. When I told you that guy, when I just watched the documentary. If you go to our, was it which episode were we talking about that in? Oh, the sequels.
Episode two,
Electric Boogaloo. That's right. And we were talking about sequels, and we talked about the Rocky films, and we talked about Creed. And I just recently saw a documentary from Rocky to Creed, and actually that guy dropped Michael B. Jordan. He actually had to drop him for a scene when they were filming the fight scene for the Phantom camera. Yeah, Stallone's like, "You kid's gonna have to take the hit," and he took the hit, and bloody mouth and everything. And I'm watching, and they're like, "Yeah, he had a fight coming up, so we had to be careful to make sure." I'm like, "A fight coming?" Like, "Yeah, he's a 17-year pro boxer." I'm watching, I'm like, oh my God, this guy's an actual boxer.
Yeah, so get ready to take the hit because if you ever meet this guy, you're gonna be the one to take the hit.
I was peer pressured by these other guys to say,
Sure.
Yeah, I was totally stating that he had a brawler's type physique, and that I'm pretty sure he looks like a very capable fighter.
Whatever makes you feel better.
I really want people to listen to what you were saying in that episode because you're gonna
go back and give a listen before I delete it tonight.
Tonight, gone. It's gonna say episode 1, episode 3.
3, exactly. I'm renumber and restructure this whole thing. So.
Nah, but for real, all seriousness, shout outs to Tito Ortiz from Miami, not the MMA fighter, and Coffee Clutch Crew for giving us shout outs on Twitter.
Definitely
appreciate it. Yes, and also to Eddie Etsy. That guy's been giving us a lot of feedback, so we appreciate it.
Please review us. Someone review us.
Give us some reviews. So I guess till next time, wrapping it up. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.
And there you have it, folks. This has been Fanatically Correct. Until next time, you crazy kids. Signing off.